Welcome to the MartiniWorks Podcast, where we talk about cars, car parts, car history, car community, and sometimes Dakota's beard. If you guys are new or gals, come on back. Welcome. If you're looking to mod your car, you can get your car parts over at MartiniWorks.com. We just got work wheels added to the website, plus BBS, and we can mount wheel and tire packages now. So if you're looking for a set of wheel and tire packages or coilovers, like some Fortune Autos, we have those on the website as well. Plus, by the time this video goes live, we have a whole new tool coming to the website, never before seen.
Hopefully.
Why do you guys say it like that? Say it with more confidence, more oomph.
We're gonna have it.
Dakota?
Can we talk about it?
Yeah, of course we can.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. What if it's not there and then we get them all hyped about it?
Well, then they can tell us in the comments.
Worst case scenario, we get people hyped.
Yeah. They're going to drop in the comments and be like,
Okay.
There's nothing on the website. You guys are fucking us right now.
Potty gets it first.
Yes,
Yeah.
always.
So if you guys are listening to this, you're the exclusive members. We're releasing a rep versus real wheel filter because I'm so fucking tired of people thinking they know what reps are and they're not. So we're the only ones on the internet to do it. Our website will label and have rep, inspired, or real wheel. So that way we can have a way to confidently say whether a wheel is a rep. Just because a brand has rep wheels in its lineup doesn't mean they don't also have original designs in that lineup. And I think we need to start distinguishing that, because you got to give credit where credit is due. If there's an original wheel design, it's an original wheel design. Rep does not mean it's made in China. You know, that's two different things. A replica design is completely different. So we're also going to have community feedback on there, so that way, like, because obviously there's a million wheels out there. We're learning.
There's damn wheels.
We have gone through spreadsheets and spreadsheets, and there's even more to go, way more to go. So obviously we can't do every single one. So if you guys get a chance, you're like, hey, I know what that wheel is, you can type it in and we'll be able to see, and then we can update our website from there. So that way it's constantly evolving, and if any mistakes are made, we can update it and change it too.
Yes, we're trying our best. We're going to do our best. We did as much research as we possibly could with the 3 brains that are in this room and more that are outside of this room to get that done. But obviously we're not going to get it 100% right. So we wanted to give that option for feedback, because if there was a wheel that was made in the 80s,
Yeah,
some was really dope,
solo dude in Japan made it in his hut
and won a race with it, and it's really sick, and then now some no-name brand is making it, let us know.
Yeah, so the big reason, Dakota touched on it too, which is the entire idea of a rep wheel is wrong in the community by almost every definition of it. And it's not meant to put ourselves above the community. That's not what it is. What it's meant to do, it's meant to help educate. There's so much gatekeeping around what that means, what a rep design means, and it's become so commonplace for people to just label everything a rep. So the website will also have the definitions that we're going to stand by, the hill we're kind of quote unquote dying on to define these wheels, because we think it's, you know, we've got brands like Enki scared and other brands scared about how we're actually distributing this, but we don't want it to be seen as a negative thing. We just want to be honest with you. There was a time where you gate kept your wheel specs for the sake of, like, you didn't want anybody to get the same wheel specs as you because you wanted your car to look better. Yeah. And it's almost the same thing on the manufacturer side for this rep design conversation. It's all gate kept. Like, nobody wants to talk about if their wheel is a rep or if it's inspired by or if it's original. And we just aim to kind of lift the cover off of that and show you exactly what we know, because we're the guys that hopefully you trust to actually mod your car with. And we want you to know what you're buying. And it's not something where you post on the internet and then all of a sudden the first 3 comments are, oh, you bought a piece of shit wheel because it's a rep. And it's like, well, that's not fair.
And now you feel bad about your very expensive purchase, which you shouldn't have to. You should know what you're getting before you get into it, because buying wheels and tires, that's a big purchase for everybody. You know, it's expensive. It's not like going out and buying a phone case.
It's also the
thousands of dollars.
It's also the #1 modification that I think changes the look of a car.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that and suspension are like.
So you got to be confident in it. So, for example, when I had my Cobalt SS back in the day, I was 18, I think, when I had that. I didn't know a lot about wheels. I didn't know anything about wheels, but I knew ones I liked. But the thing with Cobalts was the bolt pattern was horrendous. So I had like 3 wheel options, and one of them was the Varstone ES2, which is a complete blatant replica of the Volk TE37. At the time, I didn't know that. I didn't know what a TE37 was. And yes, I know that's the most iconic wheel ever made. I didn't
you
know
don't
it.
you don't know that.
I didn't know when I was
There
18.
didn't know there was levels to this shit.
So
Wheel,
I just
wheels,
bought 'em.
wheel.
And then I got clowned
Wheels
on all the
wheels.
time for it. And it's not to say like if I would have known that there was the TE37 that I would have bought that because it was way out of my budget at that time.
$3,000.
There is no way I would have gotten it. But there's some people I think that will be out there that will be like, if they can look at a wheel and then we have it linked, hey, here's the real version of this wheel if you want to check that one out too. They might make that decision, you know what, I'm going to save up one more month and I'm going to get the real version of it. And I think that that's such a nice ability or factor. Or you can get the replica. I don't care if you buy replicas because that's what you can afford when you're 18 and working at fucking Taco Bell or John Deere Test Farm.
Yeah, and I think just to kind of flip it on its head, I'm always going to be more of like a proponent of get something budget oriented, get something that even might be a little bit of a rep design. If that means that you can go and drive your car more, like if you can save some of that money and you can spend some money on an autocross or you can spend some money on getting some good tires, you're always going to see me push that way versus just saying go buy a $6,000 set of wheels and then go into debt for the next 2 years. Here's what I say though. The filters will also have the ability to see the technology of the wheel as well. So here's why that's so important. There are some wheels out there that are original, but they might even be like gravity cast. They're heavy, they're overweight, they're not really well on the they don't work the greatest on the car, but they're an old design, people like the way that they look. You should know that you're buying a really expensive, functionally kind of poopy wheel. But on the same time, if you're looking for something that can get its ass beat on the track, that's going to handle some dirt drops, and you don't really care if a wheel is rep or an inspired by design, you just want something that's flow formed or you want something that's forged so it can take a beating, you'll be able to see that too. So we're trying to pair the aesthetics of a wheel with the functionality of the wheel too, because we do really believe how a wheel's supposed to work is just as important as how a wheel looks, especially on the Japanese side. Dude, people are spending like $2,600 on like one piece, not even flow formed wheels, but because they're from Japan, it's like, dude, I want them. It's a 25-pound wheel.
It's like obviously some real wheels really good, some rep wheels really bad. But on the other side of that, some rep wheels are fine and some real wheels are kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Like it
goes both ways.
Yeah, it's all over the place. It's like, dude, we were going through like Enkei's catalog and it was like,
Dude, it's so bad.
there are some bad fucking wheels in Enkei's catalog. Like
When you start searching,
it's not good. Which is fine because they have wheels like the RPF 1, they have wheels like the NTO3, they have some absolute heaters. But you don't see because they have one shitty wheel that they're just classified as a replica wheel company.
Yeah.
You know, so
we made a comment because what is that? The Enkei,
the PFO one,
PFO1.
TS6.
Oh, the TS6, the
name of it?
T37
Yes,
rep. Yeah.
that is ATE37 all day and night. So we made a post on our Instagram. You can go check it out right now. It's Alex holding it, and we just asked, "Is this a rep?" And the answers were exactly what
no,
I
it's
fucking...
Enkei.
No, it's not actually because the quality is made and it's like shut the are you? It's a TE30. Like there's no question. It's not even like slightly different. That is a just copy and paste version of the T. It's like no, that is a replica design. I don't care. It's made in Japan.
So it's like we're trying to like just be like, yes, you're right. It is Enkei. It is made in Japan. It is flow. You're right. It's a good wheel. It's still a fucking replica of the goddamn TE37.
What we're trying to do is we're trying to split the conversation a little bit.
Exactly.
Because it needs to happen. It's very similar to back in the day when people would say, I've got 18x9s all around. And you'd be like, so what's the offset? And they just wouldn't respond. It's like, well, you need to know that.
It's like the most crucial part.
And because it helps you make an informed decision whether you buy a plus 35 or a plus 15. And with wheels, I think it's the same exact thing. You know, it's like, hey, is this design a rep? It's like, well, no, but the construction of it's also kind of shit, just so you know. Because you need to know if a wheel is good. There's so many wheels out there. There's so many brands. Our big goal is to always feel confident with what we put on the website. And if we put something out there that's more budget-oriented, we're always going to tell you that it is. We're always going to be honest with you that it is. But we don't want that to detract you from buying it. We just want you to make an honest purchase with yourself so that you don't feel bummed out about it afterwards. But
you don't feel like you got.
Yeah, we don't want you to got. We want you to feel super freaking stoked about what you just bought because it's a ton of fucking money to modify a car in 2024. It's absolutely insane. And nowadays, every company out there right now is pushing and peddling whatever shit makes them the most money. And then the community just gets all confused about itself because the product is fucking garbage.
Yeah, it's like you see people defending reps and stuff online, it's because they probably feel bad because they just spent $1,500 on a set of wheels that they're just getting absolutely talked down on because they didn't know any better because they got sold from whatever company that was like, nope, these are exactly what you need. You're good.
Yeah. And
They're like, like you said, I didn't even know that there was a better option out there.
And I think it's the perfect solution, not to go into this, but it's like the perfect solution for companies, even like Apex, for instance. I don't know if you guys know Apex Wheels or Apex Engineered.
I know.
But like on the BMW side, that almost all of those wheels, they are BBS designs. Almost iconically, all of them are BBS designs. Now they do have some of their own stuff, but it's like you see that audience every single time Apex drops a wheel.
Yeah.
Where you just have these two audiences just fucking going at it.
Right.
You've got the audience that's like Team Apex, like hell yeah, super cool.
These are great.
I'm gonna put
Love
them
them.
on. And the other creators, why the fuck did you make a BBS LM? Like, why did you make a BBS? And so, but people that are trying to decide is Apex a good brand or not a good brand, they need to find a place that's kind of like a neutral source, and then you get to make the decision if you want to do that.
And let me put it on the record: if you just like are hardcore, you support like original designs because you think it's tacky for a company to just blatantly take another. I get that. Yeah, that's all good. That's fine too.
Fine.
The whole point of Martini, we're not like rep defenders or real wheel snobs. We're neither of those. It's educating you on the product so that way you get to pick what you actually want.
Yes.
We're
taking
if
the
it's
market.
a rep wheel, great. If it's a real wheel, fucking awesome. But
As long as you know.
Yeah. We're almost trying to take the wind out from underneath marketing as marketers ourselves by just getting you to the website, getting you to look at the thing, and then giving you the right, honest information so that you can look at it and be like, this checks the box. This 100% checks the box. And not, hey, you came to our website. Here's all this fake stuff. Hey, it's so shiny and perfect. Everything you see on our website is perfect.
Shit,
It's the best thing ever for your car. And it's like, no.
Maybe now that you say it, this is maybe a bad idea. Just kidding.
So it's a pretty exciting thing. You guys and gals will have to go out there. Let us know what your thoughts are on it. Hopefully it is live. I think it will be, though. We're pretty confident in it. And if you're looking to know the definitions that we used to define a rep, an inspired by, or a real wheel, that'll be on the website too. Give it a read. Let us know your thoughts. I talked to probably a dozen different wheel manufacturers to define those labels. And then I also worked with people that live over in Japan, that live in Germany, that live even in Mexico, and I asked them for their opinions on it. So we really did try to think about all the cultures from all across the world to make those definitions. And some people were like, this is really awesome, Godspeed. And some people were like, thank God you guys are finally doing this because it is so annoying trying to educate the audience when they don't want to listen. So should be super cool. And that's all I got.
Yeah. So let's real quick to end this segment. Let's talk about the first set of wheels you ever bought for a car. What were they?
I actually had to pull it up. That's why I was on my phone a minute ago because oh no, it went away. God damn it. Come back to me.
Oh, sure
All right.
did.
Tell us what you got.
Oh man, so dude, I remember it was back when I had my 2G Eclipse. I can't even, like, looking back, I don't even know if they were aftermarket wheels. I don't know if they were like, an upgraded wheel off of like, you get from like factory upgrade from a different car. All I knew is that it was 5x114 and there were 17s, and that's all I wanted for my Eclipse.
Yep.
And dude, they were so bad. I went and bought this set off some guy in Wausau. They were plastied black.
Ooh.
Ooh,
They
nice.
had just the worst tread balloon tires that you could imagine. Like they were shot. And I think I bought them for like $300. I was like, damn, I'm getting a fucking deal on these wheels. And he's like, oh yeah, also like you're gonna need like these really weird lug nuts, obviously because it was such a small lug hole. He's like, you're gonna need these lug nuts too because you're not gonna be able to socket. I was like, oh okay, thank you so much. And I remember like going home for like a weekend or something like that, and I loaded all that stuff up because I had no tools at college. I like loaded all this stuff up in the Eclipse, drove back to Park Falls, and I was so fucking excited to get these wheels. I'm like in my driveway. I like grabbed like the emergency jack out of there. I'm like jacking the car up. I like found, something to get the old wheels off, and I threw these wheels on. They weren't hub centric at all. I went to throw the lug nuts on. I'm like, man, these are going on really hard. But the guy gave them to me. And nowhere else in Park Falls, Wisconsin would have a tuner style lug nut for me to use. We're just gonna send.
Oh no.
Oof.
I mean, just something cross threaded, but they were all on.
Hey. Hey, there you go.
Damn.
They were okay.
Yeah. I actually had to find a picture of my first wheels because I'm convinced they actually might be work VSKF reps now that I actually look at them. You guys will have to tell me. Is that
No.
no?
That's not a VSK. That's like a it's like a Weds almost.
So
Like
that's
almost not a it's a Cerberus, but not a Cerberus. It kind of looks like the Conce Neo, but like with less spokes.
You know what these are?
What are they?
What?
Fucking gross. Wait,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what those are. But
Come
dude,
on.
the
Those
red
are horrendous, Alex.
Hey, guys,
the red lip on there.
This was 12 years ago. This was in.
Those are like
Dude, colored
Is
lips.
in for 70-year-olds.
No,
they're like dub.
Those are dub wheels.
But like
Listen.
Dub makes cool wheels too.
Yeah.
But like that's like midnight club cover photo.
Listen, fuck faces. Okay,
Hey.
this was 12 years ago. Colored lips were in Dub
they
Edition
weren't.
Midnight Club. Hell yeah, they were
Alex.
in. These things were so
Alex,
goddamn
Alex,
cool.
Alex,
no,
Alex.
I'm gonna explain my story. You wanna know why?
I just have a question for you.
What?
How long ago do you think 12 years ago was?
2012.
Yeah. In 2002.
Yeah, you're acting like that's early 2000s fucking body. 2012, brother.
2010.
That wasn't in
When did Midnight Club 3 come out?
fucking early 2000s. Yeah.
2005. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's so rad.
I
That's
know.
why it's
He's
so
backpedaling.
rad, dude. These wheels were so sick. And I remember one time I had to go because when I bought these, I bought them for like $425 because they had colored lips. And I had to find the center caps because the center caps were gone, and it was a dual drilled, ugly, ginormous
Yeah,
Oh, of course they were.
it's a
Yeah.
dog pile. So I'm like looking around, and then Sears had it. This was back when Sears was open, okay? And they had an auto center. I ordered the part, and I went to go pick it up.
You ordered center caps from Sears?
Yes. So I go to pick up the center caps, and I decide to get like the tires rotated or something at the same time.
Very adult.
Yeah, I don't know why. And I was really excited to be in this Sears Auto Center because they got aftermarket Rams, they got wheels, they had a little popcorn machine in the corner. I was excited.
Yeah.
And I remember at like 30 minutes into my appointment, this old man, 5'5", 5'6", hunched shoulders, just grumpy, just angry as a clam, comes out and walks into the lot. Who's got the old rice rocket, the red one?
Yeah.
Who's got that?
Sounds about
And I'm
right.
like, me? And he looks at me, and he had like the glasses like this too, and he's like,
No, you're about to get roasted.
come with me. And I'm like, fuck, oh God.
You're in trouble.
We walked into the auto. He's like, you got an oil leak. You had us get you center caps. Son, you need new tires is what you need. You don't need center caps. I don't know what you're doing modifying this rice rocket thing for what you need is tires, son. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'll ask my mom and I'll let you know. He goes, this isn't safe to drive. I'm like, okay, yeah. I was really sad, really nervous. They put the car back on the ground. I paid my bill. I left, and I was scared of Sears ever since. So then they went under.
Damn. Alex put Sears under. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, we got Sears bankruptcy before GTA 6.
That's funny you say that, though, because I remember specifically, too, we would go to, it was Fleet Farm, and they have an auto center.
Yep.
And they sell aftermarket wheels, too.
Yep.
Because I remember we were there for something, I was like, and it was at the time, got the Eclipse, we're working on it, we're doing stuff. I was like, dang, those wheels look really, it had a wheel. I was like, that looks really cool. I want new wheels for my car. And I remember going through the catalog at the Fleet, and they were drag wheels and Kragers and that
American
kind of
Racing.
shit. I'm like, yeah, that looked good on the car.
What was it? What'd you just say?
American Racing.
American
That's
Racing.
Gonna lead to my first set of wheels for my Mustang
Oh.
GT.
God
I
damn.
think I'm trying to remember the website. It's like American Muscle or some shit like that. I don't know. It's a website dedicated to Mustangs and Mustang parts where I got my intake, I got my exhaust, because I didn't know fucking anything.
None of us did.
And this website, it didn't really educate me about parts, but it was like, we'll work with Mustang. And I'm like, perfect. So I had my graduation party from high school. any dollar that I got went to getting brand new wheels for my fucking Mustang. I feel like your graduation party, like that money's meant to like kind of get you kickstarted in life.
College is what that's called.
Well, we skipped college and we went straight to the Mustang GT wheels. So I got some American Racing. They were gloss black on my gloss black car, and that's where I found out like they looked okay. They weren't bad. The fitment was it was very conservative, very safe. Obviously, it works on your Mustang. But I learned that gloss black wheels, you cannot see any. They just look like a shadow. And ever since that day, I don't think I bought black wheels again because you just lose the definition.
Black wheels, I think, are dead and completely gone. I was listening to the Koenig podcast, and they were talking about like the history of like why black wheels were so popular initially.
Sure.
And then finally they started making wheels in silver. And everybody's like, fucking black wheels suck. And then everybody just started buying silver wheels.
Well, it's like the idea of it's cool in the right light, it looks cool, but like any other time, you just can't even see them.
Like by themselves, they always look great too. But yeah, as soon as you throw them on a car, and especially when you wrap them in tires, they're gone.
You want to know the ultimate way to like deflate the look of a car? Not just a black car with black wheels, but like a black car with black wheels with faded tire. And then that ugly ass fucking stock caliper that hides behind the wheel, and you're like looking at it, it's like this just looks like an unfinished car. Like this doesn't look modified at all.
Last note on that too, because like that has become like the stigma, right? It's like black wheels, they just don't look good, yada yada. And I felt so bad one time. I had like just gotten the BMW, which is like the white E90, and I was up visiting my buddy Luke, and he had just gotten a new Chevy or GMC truck that he just got, and he was really happy about it, all that kind of stuff. And we were grilling out, and he was talking to me about the car. He's like, "Oh, you gotta throw some like wheels on it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I got some wheels on the way." He's like, "I do some black wheels that look really good." I'm like, I just don't like the look of like black wheels on like the white car, and they get like really hidden. And as I said that, I just see him look over to his truck, which has black wheels on it. He's like, "Oh."
Like, no. For trucks, black wheels are all the rage. Trucks, you can pretty much only get black wheels, so I get it. But
Luke, I'm sorry. I love your truck.
We're going to take a small break, but not before talking about our first partner of the MartiniWorks podcast. Dakota, you want to take it away?
Canti.
Don't do that in a mirror.
I'm trying to get that to be the new slogan for them.
Where's our jingle? Let's go
Anyway.
ahead.
Continental. Dude, for June, they got some deals. If you're looking to get some tires, come check out the MartiniWorks website. Continental has a size for every single car, and they have a tire for every single situation. And I've gotten the chance to go out and test them in every single situation. Did not disappoint. Not just saying that. I am thoroughly impressed with every tire in the lineup from Continental. So if you're looking for a DWS 06 Plus, an Extreme Contact Sport 02, or anything in between, make sure to check out MartiniWorks.com and get some official rubbers.
That was really good. I would just say my favorite thing about Continental is they've made it easy to know when the tire's no longer good at the thing it's supposed to be good at, because it just has D, right? DWS, and then if you see the fucking letter, it's like, this is still good for snow, light snow.
And
is the S gone?
Then don't.
No
How about
more
the way?
penny trick in the tread.
Dude,
Just
the penny trick.
Look at the tread.
I consider myself proficient in mathematics. Okay, the fucking 3/16 and 6/42 for a fucking penny measurement, bullshit. Okay, you can't give me a better way to like look at how much.
Oh,
tread
you
is
can.
left.
You can. Conti did it. Anyway.
We'll be right back.
Are you guys in like any of the car groups of the make and model you own on Facebook?
Unfortunately,
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, they can be really toxic.
Yes.
But I like being in them because it's funny. And I don't think I participate very often, but I just kind of, every single time there's a post, and I ran across one somehow. Oh, yeah, this is what it was. I like when there's beefs between the car owners, right? You know what I'm saying? And there's a Kia Stinger group, and somebody in that posted, just rolled up on a Mark V Supra, raced them 3 times, whooped them every single time. First race, I drove around him, went right past him, couldn't even see him in my rear view. Second race, I slowed down, I gave it, he was gone. Third race, I don't even know where he was. Every single person's like, bro, he wasn't even fucking racing you. You're just like driving around this fucking guy. But then there's the people defending that the Kia Stinger is like the fastest production car ever made. Then there's the super guys because somebody screenshot it, post it in the super group. They're all fucking going nuts. And sometimes I just have a lot of fun on those pages.
So I would say, what do you think, in your opinion, is the worst car group for that kind of person, right? Like the people,
I got it.
the people who are so like self-centered around the platform. Like if they could remove a rib to lift their legs up and just kind of go at it, they would. What group is it?
Well, now I don't know. You're freaking me out.
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
I've owned a lot of cars, so I've been in a lot of the car groups. I've got to see a lot. Mark IV Volkswagen kids are a different fucking breed than everyone else. And it is, I feel like the numbers are, everyone's going to join now to just go watch this shit show. It is fucking insane. The type of stuff you posted or you see posted in there is just absurd. None of the, okay, I've said this before. There's either people that don't know their fucking ass from their forehead, or there's the smartest people in the car scene, and they are both in one group. And again, it's like a college professor babysitting. That's sketchy putting that comment. That's gonna tip.
No,
well, it's not like you dropped anything on the Ferrari before.
No, so, like we'll just put it right.
Yeah, put it right in the vent entrance for the engine.
My vote is Mark IV kids 100%. What do you guys think?
Yeah, she's good.
No, I know. You showed me some of that stuff, and it is absolutely wild.
Going to Home Depot for rain gutters to use a side skirt. And they almost look like memes or jokes, but they're real.
Yeah.
They're fucking real.
I've seen the rain gutter thing on Mark IVs. I actually saw that at a car show one time, and then we denied him, and he was like, "Why did I get denied?" I'm like, "Bro, come on. Why do you think?
Pieces of your house.
Why do you, why do you think?
Home Depot, not Car Depot.
Yeah, put those parts back on your 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Okay, chill out. I would say probably one of the most difficult groups I've ever dealt with will always be the DSM groups.
Yeah,
they're so fucking diehard. And they know so much now because the rest of them are either on to a different hobby or dead. So it's like those that are left in it, the 16 of them, they know fucking everything. They're like
old.
They're like the 13 disciples, and they're grumpy and they're angry because their car still doesn't work and they don't know why. But they fucking know that car better than Mitsubishi does, and they sure as shit know it better than fucking you. And oh my, every time, dude. I remember I did a how to modify on them. I know I've done content on DSMs in the past, and I am always so very careful on what I say because they'll respond, but they will respond, and it's like a chapter of information.
It's like a whole car for them.
Actually,
They'll let you
in
know.
August of 1986, there was a man by the name of Lila Coca. He had a husband, and this person was this person, and this is why this engine had this number on it, and that's why this thing is here. And it's like you have a really long way of explaining why the car is still a piece of shit. But I am so glad. I'm so glad that you love it, dude. I don't get it. It's like all the masochists in the car scene just gravitate to being a DSM owner because they're so tough to keep alive.
I agree. That is another breed of people too. You got anything, Joe's?
I love the DSMs.
Yeah.
You have to. You were birthed into that.
I grew
water.
up in that. Yeah. Like, those were the first pages that I joined, and I learned really quickly to just shut the fuck up. Especially if you had a 420A. Dude, you don't even exist to them.
I remember
that's not even included.
when WCC was just getting started in 2012. I learned very quickly. Like there were certain and there's still groups that like don't like WCC, which is totally fine. I totally get it. It's been 10 years now. We've all grown up, but like, dude, the DSM community, you say one thing about the Eclipse, and they would come in like droves and be like, "You're a fucking idiot. Here's 62 reasons why. I'm not letting you let this down for 6 years, and I'll unblock you in 2021." And it's like,
hey,
all I said was that I didn't like the car. I thought it was unreliable. They're like, you don't get to say that. It's like, okay.
I got really we did tequila talk on MA Performance one time, and I talked some shit about DSMs because I was a little liquored up, and I just hope and pray that they never find that video.
Is it still out there?
They can't.
You never get released.
Harley doesn't even work there anymore. You're fine.
That's true. That may performance a different company now. Anyways,
Well,
what are the best car groups you've been a part of?
Ooh.
oh, I got one.
Go.
There's a new group that Lars put me on. I can't remember the name right off the top of my head, but it's like this like semi-pro kind of like racing and historical Facebook group where a lot of the people in it either race casually, race professionally, or they own these like very like rare older cars, and they just randomly post to be like, just took out my 1970 Series 1Z that I turned into a safari rally car that I took on the Paris-Dakar Rally in 1983. Still running like a champ. Absolutely love it. You know, I'm going to take it over to Jay Leno next week so he can do a video on it. And just randomly.
And they're not snobs?
No, they're just...
It seems like it would be snobby.
No. So there's a little bit, obviously, of like pretentiousness, but it's not in a way that's like bad because you're going to the forum to like see it.
Yeah,
you
right,
know?
right.
In a sense, like that is like an anti-purist
Like
group. If you're
Apex-
talking like cars like that, like those, your purists
Apex,
aren't doing that.
Apex Auto or something like that. I'm gonna find.
sounds
I'll let
neat.
you guys know.
I honestly, dude, I don't know, because I'm trying to think of like the ones that I'm in now, and like I'm not really like active in any of them. I would say,
Right. Yeah, same.
dude, the RX-8 ones are all over the fucking board. It's either people that are like posting some like really good stuff on there.
Tell me,
Yeah.
I have a quick question, not to interrupt, but like, how the fuck did some of the general public get swindled into buying RX-8s?
Dude, I have no fucking idea.
Because they were good.
Can you imagine being like you don't care about cars at all? You know nothing about
Yeah.
cars. You're buying it as a tool to get to your job and back, and that's fine. There's people like that. And you end up in an RX-8. I feel like that's because I feel like who you bought the car from, right?
Yeah.
They were pretty just like, not
Yeah.
heavy car enthusiast people.
No. Dude, I don't know, and it's really amazing too because it's like I think I talked last episode about like back in the day when I was first looking for cars, I hit that video of that guy from like the dealership and be like, "You need to do this. This is how you take care of this car. This is this, and it's like, holy fuck, I don't want this car. What the hell?
Right.
Like that sounds insane.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. Like it is kind of crazy. I don't know if they were kind of
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
It's a rotary tattoo.
Oh hell yeah. I would say that like what I think happened is that obviously coming off like the RX-7 years and stuff like that, granted, still rotary, still problems, still different, still a lot of maintenance. It's not as much as compared to like what the RX-8 was. The RX-8 introduced a lot of different stuff that didn't necessarily work and caused more issues right out the gate. So I think people were kind of going off of like, oh, rotaries are a bit different, but the RX-7 was fine. Maybe they had like an FC back in the day or like an FB. They're like, loved it, liked the Wankel engines. I'm going to go get the new one, And then it was like trying to be more efficient and trying to like be more, environmentally friendly, and it caused a bunch of issues. But yeah, dude, that is a good question because, dude, I don't want to.
I'm trying to think of like my grandma when she was alive. If she would have accidentally bought an RX-8.
What the fuck do you do?
And I get for the most part, like it
that's
still
happened.
runs like a normal car.
Yeah.
But like I think of you and like how you're like mixing fuel and shit, or bringing it anywhere to like not a dealership but like an auto repair shop, and they're gonna be like, "You want us to what?" And they're like, "I don't know, my light's on." And it's like the Apex seals, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" And they're like, "I don't know what the car,
dude." Yeah, so it's a lot of that. It's a lot, and you see it. You see them for sale where it's like, "Hey, I bought this car. I bought it brand new. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. It just whenever I drive it somewhere and I shut it off, it doesn't want to start again." And it's like, yeah, you're fucked.
That was what we learned when we initially, because Becca wanted a 911, like an old air-cooled 911.
Yeah.
And we bought a G Series is what we ended up buying. This was a while ago. And I remember we got it, put maybe 150 miles on it before it snowed, and then the head studs went out, and it was like a $16,000 repair that the dealer would not cover. And so we ended up having to pay that out of pocket. I actually remember because it was wild. When I got on, because we went on vacation in February, when I got to the actual resort, I got the phone call from the dealer, CS Motors, or the repair shop, CS Motorsports, and they're like, "Hey, it's Chris. I know exactly what's wrong. It's going to cost you $15,000. It's the head studs. It's this. It's an engine out procedure. he's like, it's got to get done. The car's not going to run without it. He goes, it's totally up to you. And I was like, okay, yeah. And I remember sitting out there. That was the first day of the vacation.
Yeah.
Rip
The
to that
second,
vacation.
the second day of the
Hopefully
vacation.
it was all inclusive.
You know what I got notified of the second day of that vacation?
What?
Hey, there's this really weird sickness going around.
Oh my God.
And we need to be careful because I think it might be a problem. That was the second day. You want to know what I got on the third day of that vacation?
COVID.
Hey, we have reason to believe that if you're at a resort right now, you may not be able to leave.
Oh my God.
We left on the fourth.
Fucking God.
We left on the fourth day. We got out of
Luckily,
Mexico.
because
Okay.
you would have been trapped there for months.
Fifth day, we were back home for one day. I get an email from the resort. Notification effective immediately. Anybody that was on the premises of that property was no longer allowed to leave. We left like 2 days before the entire world
Locked down.
literally locked down.
You're so fucking lucky.
Yeah, it was a lot. The whole trip, like Beck and I were there. We drank some tequila. We were just kind of like hanging out. But the whole weekend, I was like, my phone's going off. Obviously, from my previous life of like Sean and all these people that are messaging me, like joking around about it. And then as the days kind of progressed, it was a little less jokey and it was a little bit more fuck.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah, and I remember I was in between the two planes about to head home, and I got a text. I was like, hey, you should probably stay home when you get back. And I'm like, why?
This is getting crazy.
They're like, we don't know. And that was, everything was so unknown. And I remember I was like, this vacation fucking sucks.
That is nightmare fuel vacation.
That
That
was like-
wasn't
yeah.
a vacation.
No, that was literally everything you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And then I believe, so you got the Porsche fixed up and then sold it?
Yeah, so we got the Porsche fixed up. The really tough part about it, though, is that it was still it's like a very tricky car to drive. It's not like a very easy thing to jump into. Like even like the shifter is kind of like a semi-truck shifter, and it doesn't have
Turn
any
the
sort of synchro
defrost
mesh.
on.
Yeah. Like,
That is the most psycho shit I've ever seen, is turning the defrost
car-
on an old Porsche.
that car is more of a fucking airplane than anything.
Yes,
It's
it literally
so
is.
weird. They threw levers and shit in just for the hell of it. They're like,
Got the mixture knob.
Yeah.
That's when you start to realize
My
that like
God.
hype drives the price of like so many cars, because you get inside a G series and you're like, okay, the engine's in the back, sure, still slow as balls. It's a pretty okay driving experience. The AC sucks, the heat sucks, the speakers suck, the interior is kind of okay, and it's going to be $60,000.
Yeah.
That's like,
And I just broke it.
and you broke it. And if you're not careful and you don't know how to drive it, it's going to break again. And it's like, or hear me out, or you get literally anything else for half the price and you never have to worry about it.
Would
You
you,
never deal with any of that.
that being said, would you ever get one of those cars again?
Absolutely.
See, there it is.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say, because like I totally get that. I got the chance to drive a older 911, and it was like, I mean, this car's going for over $100K. They're selling it for like, Jesus, this is insane. But like driving it, I get how someone could have like crazy nostalgia and just absolutely fall in love with a car like that, because it was a different driving experience than anything else I've ever driven.
You roll down the windows and you're coming up to a stop sign, and maybe you're out in the country a little bit. And in that car, and in cars like that, it just feels different. Like it just feels like you're not heading home. You're just on a drive. And I don't know what it is about the fact. Maybe it's because it's a little bit more analog. It doesn't have all the fucking infotainment in your face. It
That
doesn't
feeling,
have 9 billion notifications.
You are driving.
I also felt it in the E30.
Yes.
When I drove that, and I couldn't describe. That is one of the slowest fucking cars I've ever driven. But there was something about driving it that it just, like, you wanted to continue driving
It
it.
reminds me of it doesn't sound really weird because I don't even do it. Like camping. You get away from it all. You get away from
Yeah, I get it. I
the
get
normalcy of life. You get into some of these new cars and it's like, connect the phone, got the Bluetooth, got the AirPods, got this, got that. You got 9 million things around you. And you hop in a car like a 911 where there is no back seat. It's just literally a steering wheel, shift lever, and 4 airplane modes.
Yeah.
And it's like, drive it, man.
Yeah.
And even the E46, to be honest,
Still has a lot of that.
Yeah,
feels a lot like
it's
that.
an analog modern
Yeah.
car.
It's like right before everything switched.
It's like when you go to, like, you have the idea and you're like, man, I want a game with my buddies, and you go to get on. You're like, all right, guys, let's all get on at 8 p.m. and you're all getting ready. go turn on PS5. PS5 has an update. So you, all right, well, okay, guys, I'm getting an update. Everybody's like, okay, I'm getting on. He's like, oh, well, Call of Duty has an update. And it's like, okay, all right.
5 minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be 30 minutes. And then the other guy gets on, he's like, oh, my controller has an update. And it's like, okay. And then by like 11 p.m., you play one game and then you go to bed. So there's that modern gaming. Or I can just go plug in my fucking N64, blow on the cartridge, and just fucking sit back and play and just reminisce.
That is why I
and that's what that old car, new car is like.
For me, it's like, and getting into gaming a little bit here, but like my, I don't know what you call it, like my comfort game, I guess, if you will, like the game away from games, because I don't really play anything outside of maybe like Gran Turismo 7 and some iRacing, is like Terraria. Like it's like a little 2D scroller game or whatever.
And I never played it.
Oh my God, I can just sit there and like the whole world disappears as I play Terraria, and it's just awesome. But
wait 1 second, I got 99 fishing bitches. That's my just turn off the world play.
So cool.
Fucking thank you. Yes,
Monkfish. Would you sell them?
No, I got to cook them now. I started
it.
cooking them because I'm gonna trim the. Although
fishing cape.
The fishing cape, untrimmed, kind of a flex. It just got that sky blue. It looks kind of neat.
Yeah, isn't it gold with the trim, or is it the darker
it's got
blue?
gold on the sides, so it'll look cool. So I'll trim it. But
Range skill cape trimmed still looks the best. The green on the orange.
no, I'd say Slayer cape is number
That's
one.
gray with red, isn't it?
Black with red.
Black
with
with
a
red?
skull with a sword going through it.
Yeah, the
Coolest
thing
cape.
is with Slayer, it was so goddamn hard.
It takes forever.
I like
but
Slayer,
you make
though.
me.
It's
Yeah, I
fun.
love Slayer. Yeah.
People
something
that
to
like
do.
Slayer are the same people who like DSMs.
You're not wrong.
I like
In this case.
I like the 2Gs. I don't like the 1Gs. That's what I'm.
So you're a casual Slayer.
you
You're not a
only-
99.
You only like a 1G if you're into drag racing.
yeah.
That's the
Only
only thing
like
I
a 1G if you're a psycho.
I'm convinced that the DSM owners were just the children of the domestic car owners that drag raced, and they didn't want to be like their parents.
Do you guys think, bringing it back a little bit to what we were just about to get on, do you guys I haven't had the chance to drive. I don't know if you guys have the E46, but do you think it's overhyped because of like Most Wanted and the like, marketing it got? Or do you think it lives up to this standard? Because like I look at the E46 M3 as kind of like the holy grail of BMWs. Like it's one of the most iconic. Does it live up to hype? I know it has a ton of fucking maintenance problems. Like you need to address and take care of before you can even think about like using the car or buying one. Like they always list it in the ads. Like they'll even say when it's not done. Shout out to those BMW owners because I've looked at these and they'll be like, yeah, I haven't done the big three or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the M3 specifically, I think it's pretty damn close to the hype. I do think it is a really good car.
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit of both. It's a great car, great driving experience, awesome. I think the engine is fun. But yeah, the big three are obviously a huge part of it. I think where some people lose their way with the car is just assuming it's fast because it's not fast. And
lot of cars aren't.
and a lot of like
they are.
I would say like pre E90 BMWs outside of obviously like their M5 and stuff like that. They were never really intended to be like rocket ships. They were intended to be super well built driving cars.
Right, yeah.
And I was even talking about this in a video where I was just writing up, which is about the 2002, which is where it was a 2-door, 2-liter based on the BMW 700 and what was called like a new class.
My brother owns one.
2002?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that recipe of like slightly bigger engine, smaller chassis really cemented BMW as an affordable performance, opportunity. And then they came out with the E21 and then the E30, E36, and now E46. I will say the only thing I have a tough time liking with BMWs and the M3, especially the E46, is the noise. The exhaust. I can't.
They do have a specific tone.
And I hate to say it, but it's like the European Civic.
It's just like
and
the JoJo Siwa of cars. It just makes noise.
It does, and in no particular direction. It just does it.
It just makes noise and thinks everyone else likes it, and no one actually likes it.
Yep.
That's
a good analogy.
Unsee that now.
It sucks because it's such a beautiful car, and it seems like it would have like this super aggressive, good sounding tone. I think that's a problem. It has no tone. It just has noise.
Yeah.
And even like poor Lars, like the fucking new M2 too. I don't like how that car sounds.
Yeah.
It's too raspy,
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
crackly.
It just seems like the depth of the sound should go like this far down, and it only goes like this far
think-
down. I don't know how to explain it.
Doesn't have a good tone.
I think because Essentially, that is straight pipe, essentially.
When the valves
It
are
needs-
open.
Yeah, it needs a little something. I mean, I think you look at
Like a resonator or something? Like
a little like spoolie boy
to
to smooth it out a little bit.
I bet you it would sound
Dude,
really
a
good with
turbo
a turbo.
M3
Yeah.
would go. I bet would sound insane.
You should. All right, keep talking. Okay.
What?
I'm just trying
Okay,
to.
yeah. So that's what I mean, because like obviously like turbos are cool and have their own sound too, but like it does help mellow out an exhaust tone a lot. And you're talking about a straight six, essentially, if you want turbocharged engine. You know, look at the 2JZ, look at the RB, look at you know, the N54. Those are all straight six turbocharged engines that do have a very distinctive exhaust note that sounds good. You know, so I think that might help a ton.
See, it still has that noise. though.
You still hear it.
It does still have an. I really love how much fun that guy's having. That made me like it.
Yeah, it was better, but you could still tell that was a BMW for some reason. I don't know what it is.
I can safely share that the E46 is a fantastic platform.
Yeah,
And the
fun
M3
car.
is a fantastic driver's car. And it's cool and it's wicked and it's awesome. And it's not perfect, but I think for people who love to drive, I don't know if you can get much closer to that analog driving experience out of any other car before you start spending
Lots of money.
Porsche money, before you start spending like European, you know, other car money, because that's the whole thing with BMW. He's like, we're going to give you a super sick platform, a super sick package, and it's not going to be, you know, super expensive.
Here's one no turbo real quick. I didn't even pre-look at the video. I just had trust that it would sound how we were thinking, and it did.
They are very raspy.
It's
They're just a raspy
very
car.
raspy.
high pitch rasp, high pitch rasp.
Yeah, they
Not
rev,
even
they
low
rev out like crazy
rasp.
too.
It's
Like that's the thing.
high-pitch
It's very high revving.
Yeah, but phenomenal. The curves of that car,
The fenders, dude.
insane.
The fenders are awesome.
That is one of the best looking cars. It ages like fine wine. In 20 years, it's going to look just as good, if not better, than what it looks now too. And I don't think a lot of cars do that well.
Yeah, the E46 is definitely an iconic platform. If you guys want to see us build one, we're actually building one for the Dream Car Build series. It's Lars's car that we're talking about. Check it out over on the MartiniWorks main YouTube channel. We also have a membership series we just launched so that you can actually watch a longer version of that video, more behind the scenes of the car build. We're brand new to it, so give us your feedback. But we have the next one dropping. I think we drop these episodes every Monday. So it'd be really sick for you guys to go check it out. You can watch the first episode over there as well. Yeah. We do want to say thank you to our second sponsor, Fortune Auto, for sponsoring the MartiniWorks podcast. They've been on our cars for a good long period of time.
Why'd you look at the Ferrari?
Because I thought it fell over.
Your coffee.
No, I thought my coffee fell over.
We should put Fortunatos on the Ferrari.
That'd be sick.
Honestly, I'm gonna be really straight with you guys.
Okay.
If we go through this air suspension thing,
Yeah.
And
I go out there and I come back and I let the car sit over the weekend, and the next day or on the Monday, if it's aired out on the ground, I'm fucking tearing all of it out. I will send everything back to Airlift. I'll be like, thank you so much. We love you guys. We really like to sell your shit, but I'm so fucking done with air suspension. Fortunato, on the other hand, has been absolutely fantastic. I know it's an error probably on me for installing it, but man, it is nice to get out there on just a set of really solid coilovers that can do it all. We have a goal to get this car onto the racetrack, but we also want to have the ability to drive it out on the street, which is why if we were to go with coilovers, we'd probably run into a 500 series coilover, something nice and simple. This one right here has 510s. Absolutely love it. Was able to make changes when we were at Road America right away. It was absolutely fantastic. Could feel the change immediately. And we've got a really special set of Fortunato coilovers going on our next build over there, which are very fancy. Well, podcast first.
That car.
Oh, shit.
Fortune. Yeah, distract them.
So we want to thank you for Fortunato for sponsoring the MartiniWorks podcast. And if you're looking for coilovers, please sure to check out MartiniWorks.com. We'd love to help you find that perfect setup for you. And of course, we're just getting started, so every single purchase helps us out loads. With that being said, let's jump into the next segment.
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have one fun fact for you. Then we're going to go into breaking news.
I like fun facts.
You ready for this?
Better be a good one.
In 1969, in the Le Mans 24-hour race, there was a man by the name of Jackie Ickx. He was racing in a Ford GT40. He knew that on race day, you essentially start on the other side of the track. When the light goes green or the pistol goes off or they wave the flag, I don't remember, everybody runs to their car. They get in the car and they start the 24-hour endurance race. Jackie knew that that was fucking stupid because a lot of times people were getting into crashes and unfortunately they were hurting themselves. What TikTok might say, unaliving. So what would happen is Jackie Ickx, instead of running across the track, walked very slowly. There's an iconic photo of him doing that, actually. The most competitive car, which was a Porsche 917, was piloted by a driver who was known for being very, very good. Ran across the track, jumped into the Porsche 917, which was undoubtedly supposed to win the 1969 Le Mans. Got in the car, unfortunately, had an issue strapping himself with the seatbelt into the car. Took one lap, crashed, died. Jackie Ickx instead walked to his car, got in, got nice and comfortable in his GT40, started last at the Le Mans race, and in the next 24 hours went from last place to first place. He would end up winning the 1969 Le Mans by 314 feet, competing against a Porsche 908 piloted by a man with the last name of Herman. He actually got quoted with saying, "I will never risk my life for a championship." And there you go. They ended up stopped running across the track in the 1970 Le Mans because of the protest that Jackie Ickx did.
Wow.
I'm walking everywhere now.
That dude was just like, I just didn't feel like running.
I'm sick
I
of
was
this.
just a little tired, honestly.
Let's jump into some breaking news. All right, I didn't do that right. Hyundai Motor hires ex-Porsche engineer to lead high-performance push.
They scooping up everyone from the German, because didn't they have like an interior designer from like Audi or something like that? Now they got the Porsche performance guy. Hyundai gonna be.
Are Hyundai's going to be good? Is that what we're saying?
I think
Sounds like Alex might like Hyundais now.
all I'm saying is that every single time somebody from BMW has left BMW, they've only gone to Hyundai.
What I'm saying is I'm noticing a lot of companies, whether they're in Japan, Korea, pulling on the Germans to make their stuff.
Honestly,
That is true. I think BMW, I would argue BMW is probably like the top right now. Would you guys feel confident in saying that? Like
as far as what?
value for budget performance sports car.
They're expensive. They make phenomenal cars, but man, are they fucking expensive.
I can't do the math in my head to counteract anything.
Okay, so we were looking at the like M240i's.
Yeah.
And we agreed those were pretty like accurately priced. I'm trying to think of something that beats it. I mean, I feel like Audi is in a very similar boat.
Dude, what the
to
fuck
them.
is Audi even doing right now?
I haven't heard anything from Audi.
And I think Toyota's
Good.
killing it for price to performance.
Yeah.
Like the
Right
Supra?
now. Corolla,
GR Corolla,
GR86.
GR86.
Because the Corolla is what, 300 horsepower? 400 horsepower? 300 horsepower?
A little over 3, I think. Yeah.
303
For
cylinders.
like 46,000, 42,000?
yeah,
40.
depending. Yeah.
40? Yeah, I guess. That doesn't go into saying that the 2025 BMW M3 turbo inline now tops out at 523 horsepower.
Holy
That's
fuck.
fucking crazy.
Right out the gates. Jesus. Over 500.
Remember when that
Dodge
was
is
like
laughing right now.
only 500?
That's just wild. Could you,
Put that shit in me, man.
like, it's such a Dodge thing to do. Dodge is awesome. They got like the best domestic brand
Dodge
history.
was awesome.
They still are.
They're okay.
What do you mean?
Are they? What are they doing cool right now?
Well, I think they had like their big push on heyday stuff like, what, 5-6 months ago? Because they released that Challenger that had 1 billion horsepower by dropping it off with
the
a military
E18
helicopter.
They do that like every other month.
Yeah, but it's cool.
They're like, we're just gonna add a couple hundred more horsepower. We're gonna make 5 of them. Yeah. Yeah. 4 of them are gonna sit in a garage for the rest of
The
their
rest are going to be at takeovers.
Base models.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I had another one in here that I thought was really. Oh, this is a really good one.
Let's hear it.
Today I learned that Rob Dahm, the Rotary guy, was a contestant on The Bachelorette in
Yeah.
2011.
You didn't know.
What the hell?
We're friends on Facebook.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
I don't know.
That's a
Freak.
good one. That's
Rob Dahn's
did he
smart.
win?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't watch The Bachelorette.
We should watch.
Should I message him on Facebook
We should
right now and
watch
ask?
that season of The Bachelor.
You know what's weird? The guy that made my custom Cobalt SS headlights back in the day, he's in Michigan. He's like best friends with Rob Dahm.
Really?
It was just weird. It was just so random.
Rob's got a really cool story because I've watched him since the beginning because he is kind of like local-ish, I guess, to us.
Midwestern, yeah.
Yeah, but I remember when, I think I've talked about this before, but like Rob Dahm used to get a ton of shit.
Yeah.
Like a ton of shit for wanting to like modify rotaries and work on rotaries. And there's so many people that talked like,
Really?
it's
Like,
useless.
bad of him? Yeah,
like
yeah.
poorly of
Like,
him.
hated it.
And he just kept pushing forward. And to
Someone
see
keep doing
him
it.
like successful in
I'd say
that
now he's
market-
like one of the most well-respected.
Dude, he's such
I'd say.
a smart dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's super rad. Rob Dahm does awesome content. Love that guy. Let's see. Oh God, EV, Tesla, EV.
I told Alex, I said, we got to stop talking about Tesla so much.
It's kind of hard when it's
The new Porsche 911 came out. Did we care?
I think we kind
I
of.
was going to say, we talked a little bit about it.
Because it's got a hybrid turbo engine.
Son of a bitch!
We know.
Yeah, it's faster and it's got more power and it won't be available forever.
If you sort out EV and like the cars subreddit, you get like 5.
So I actually have a topic I'd like to discuss with you.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Because we use our cars to talk about what we talked about in the last segment. And a couple weeks ago, there was a post by one of the moderators or OPs, and he said, hey, just so you know, here's this very vague statement of like, the posts and the comments that you see in here may not be all that they appear to be. And they're being manipulated and kind of falsified to create drama and hype around a certain subject or thing. The way that I take that is Hyundai makes an EV performance car. They go pay a bunch of people to go to r/cars, make a bunch of posts, and then have a bunch of other people go into the comments to talk about how incredible it is to falsify the narrative of like what the actual people think about it. And we talked about this actually while the cameras were off, guys, that I go out to r/cars, every fucking post is an EV. Every fucking post is about Tesla. And there's nothing like for just car
The
enthusiasts.
Hyundai Ioniq.
So I'd like your thoughts. Do you think like places like Reddit and those subreddits where manufacturers are kind of involved, do you think they're like authentic?
I think
do you
that's
think
the
they're
internet
paid?
in general, but
Yeah,
that's not
it's-
specific to
yeah,
anywhere.
it's
Yes,
everywhere.
100%.
There's the thing is
fake
though, it's
articles
like
being made.
It's crazy to see it on Reddit though too, because I remember that was like for a long time like the last like I don't want to say like safe place, but it was like the way that the place that you didn't see as much of that because like everyone there was in agreement. It's like, no, fuck that. This just needs to be like if like you're doing like sponsored shit or trying to sell something, we don't fucking want it.
Here's a question. So, like, how do you know what to believe?
Right.
Anywhere.
Well, yeah.
Right now. I know there's a big thing, too, even with car reviews. Everyone's
it's
just
so
being
annoying.
Yep.
paid off to say the car is good. You know, like,
Best car ever.
yep, it's every single one that comes out 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10,
Yeah.
8 out of 10. Every single car. It's like, there's no way. So it's like, how do you find.
I think people have started to fall in love with the personalities that do the car reviews, which is why I think they've gotten along for so long.
Right.
Because you don't hate the fact that they're reviewing it good. You hate the fact that they got paid to do it. And I've gotten into some fights with
it gets
journalists in the past, I guessed on it. And I don't try to be a dick about it, but I don't like that everything is always good all the time, which is why when I was almost scared because when I talked about like my authentic review of like the Nissan Z, I kind of talked about like what I didn't like so much. And I thought to myself, dude, Nissan's never going to want to work with me. There's no chance, like not even in the future. Because the moment they see that I like wasn't fucking, car is the best thing ever in the world, absolutely fantastic, I know that they're going to be like, no, we don't want to do anything with them because it's potentially bad. And you saw it, and not to like further my point, but we knew people that owned the car that got deals from Nissan that had the car, sold it, but told like no one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't have it anymore.
And they never talked about it again. And you'd ask them off camera, like, hey, did you like it? And fuck no, I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
It's like,
Your video says otherwise.
Yeah, it's a weird gray area, and I don't know. That's why I wanted to do this with MartiniWorks, because it's like I just want to promote what I like. I don't want to promote stuff I don't like.
well, I made that mistake too. I think
and-
we've made the mistake sometimes.
I don't know.
It is easy to fall into, especially when you get slapped with like a dollar sign of like, hey, we'll pay you this much to just fucking.
Yeah,
talk.
anyone that says that they wouldn't, take money, it's easy to say from the
Yeah.
outside.
It's
of
like,
course.
but because it's not like a yes or no. It's like, well, I could be a little honest about it.
The thing is,
It gets really weird.
I think in the long term, the more you just stay true, brands should look at you as like the ultimate person, because if by doing that and staying honest with your reviews and what you're talking about, you're building an audience that literally actually trusts what you're saying, which is more important than anything else. So those brands should be able to contact you and be like, hey, do this with us. We want to partner with you because you give such good reviews. And if they're scared about you saying bad stuff, that means they have a shitty product. Why do you want that anyways?
I did one just a couple of weeks ago, and it was a paid promotion or whatever, and life was good, and I was happy. Like, I will always just do the ones that I think align and that are decent. And so we did one. It was supposed to be a long partnership, like 6 months or something like that. And then we had a second post we were going to do. So we went through and we kind of like came up with some creative ideas. Here's what we want to do. Gave them the information so that they could give us the information back on the vehicles. And the information that they gave us was nowhere near what a second source also had.
It was wrong. It was just straight up wrong.
It was just completely bonkers. And, I like looked at Dustin and it kind of was like, damn, it's not like we don't need the money. We're kind of trying to figure all that stuff out. But I'm like, dude, I don't want to post something that I'm looking at this thing and I'm looking at what I know is true and those two are not the same. It's like, I can't tell people about that. I can't be like, yeah, go use this.
Go spend your money on this because it works.
Yeah, but so that's always a really tough conversation because you have to go back to the brand and say, hey,
your stuff sucks.
And they're like, no, it doesn't. And it's like, well, it did for us. And they're like, but it doesn't. I'm like,
okay, well then I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why
I'm proud of you for calling that out and not taking that.
It sucks. You guys, I mean, there's levels to it. Sure, the paid promotion stuff, but it's like you do kind of reach this like balancing act where if you take the deal, you got money to keep the lights on. You don't take the deal, you have to dip into the savings account. So it starts to get really sensitive when you say yes and when you say no. It's not about making more money. It's about making enough money. Yeah, but and that's different.
I promise we're only picking the ones that we support.
Absolutely. If you guys do have any questions or topics that you would love us to talk about in the next MartiniWorks podcast, please be sure to do so. And if you guys wanted to be a part of the YouTube membership series, it's absolutely awesome. We're actually going to be dropping a video called The Realities of Racing on it. That's going to be exclusive to our memberships, members in that group. So we just want to say thank you so much for the support we've had so far. We love doing that stuff. So thank you so much for the response and the feedback, and hope to talk to you guys soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Peace.
ModulCarMartiniWorks.com. Shit.